Hello Flosstube friends, I'm Nancy Joy Trower. I'm the Stitcher with the Laughing Face, and this is Flosstube number 42. Thanks so much for stopping by to see what I've been up to for the past 2.5 weeks. I so appreciate every single one of you who have subscribed and who like the videos and who leave such incredibly kind comments. You're so encouraging, and I'm so happy that you're part of my Stitchy circle. So I'm glad you're here. I hope that you've got a beverage in your drinking vessel and you've got your stitching, and we're going to just sit and chat like some old friends. So this is my second try at Flosstube number 42, because 2 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago, when I ended my last video, my plan was to do a video just on all the FFOs that I was going to be doing. As many of you do, I'm sure, they go in a pile until you have a time to sit down and do a whole bunch of them all at once. That's what I do. And it usually winds up being when I'm on vacation, because it is taking out a lot of stuff and figuring stuff out and all that kind of stuff. So I started a video, I sat and recorded. I showed all the pieces that I was going to be FFOing, and then I started finishing them, and I did little snippets like, here's this piece, and these are the materials I'm going to use, and then here's the finished product. Well, it wound up taking forever, way longer than I wanted it to, because it's summer and we've been doing a lot of other things as well. It was taking me, it was like, it's 2 weeks. And then I looked at the videos of like the little snippets, and some of them were sideways and one was upside down. And I was like, this isn't going to fly very well. And then I started getting myself stressed out, because it is now August. It's August 8th. Oh, happy World Cross Stitching Day. That's amazing. 10/10 would have been a good one, because then it would have been XX, but you know, August 8th is good too. So I hope you're enjoying World Cross Stitching Day. But I was starting to stress myself out. It's already August. I always make myself this giant list of things to get done at the beginning of the summer. Clean the house thoroughly, do this, do that. And hardly any of it was done. And I was like, why do we have to go disc golfing like every freaking day? Which is good to do because it's sunny out and beautiful. And so yesterday I kind of sat myself down. I'm like, it's not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be fun. What gets done will get done. Half the things on your list, people didn't even know that you were trying to do. So they're not going to be like, you didn't finish this over the summer. So just chill, right? It's all good. And so I decided to scrap that video and just do a regular Flosstube, not worrying about, oh my gosh, I don't have all those FFOs done. They'll get done and it will be fine and it will be great. So that's what we're going to do. Just a regular Flosstube. So regular Flosstube. As much as it can be. It's a million degrees in Buffalo. My sweet husband put my fan together for me, so I actually have a fan going. I'm not like too badly melting, but my makeup might start like running off my face. I actually put makeup on. I don't usually wear a lot of makeup in the summer. You know who needs to do a really good makeup tutorial is Nicole Spore. Hers is always like perfect. I would love to know how she did that. Granted, she's probably what, 15, 20 years younger than I am. But whatever. All right. So what have we been doing in the past couple of weeks? We have been pretty busy. So as I mentioned in the last video, I just found out I'd been invited to go to Bill's training camp by my sister-in-law. It's a lottery to get the tickets. And so she scored 4 tickets. So my sister-in-law, myself, and my 2 nieces, so her daughter and her daughter-in-law, the 4 of us went, and we had a blast. We didn't get to talk to any of the players or get any signatures, but we got to spend the day together, even though it was like 92 degrees. It's ridiculously hot. But we had a great time just hanging out. So that was really wonderful. I've not seen, and no, we weren't close up to any of them, but holy cow, those are really big people. Dion Dawkins is a big dude. Oh my gosh. And Josh is really tall. Really tall. Josh Allen, that is, you know, QB 17 of the best, the MVP. Not like I'm biased or anything. One of the things I did also was shoot my August update with Nancy, the Disorderly Stitcher, for the 13 for the 250th Sal. And I've tried to wear like patriotic shirts for those. And so I was wearing a Bills shirt because red, white, and blue, like your team is the right colors. It's great. And someone noticed and was like, go Bills. I'm like, proper response. Excellent. So that made my day. That was very cool. So we went to training camp. That was very fun. Then the next day we went to school because they're redoing the floors. And I had to go move a whole bunch of furniture so they could finish the library. Well, when we got there, there had been yet another leak from the 3rd floor slop sink that is above the library. So whoever thought it would be a good idea to put a utility closet over a library, I want to strangle them. Because this is about the 4th time this year that we've had a leak. And being that school's not in session, I don't think anybody knew about it. I think the water sat on the hardwood floor for a while, because when we went in, there was a big white mark all over the floor underneath the sink. Thankfully, none of my books had gotten wet, because that did happen once with another leak. And the maintenance guys, it's not them, it's whoever's, cleaning. I just said to the maintenance guys, I'm like, can you just rip it out of the wall? Just rip it right out of there. Just tear out everything. I'm so sick, and they're sick of it too. So because there's an outside company who's doing the floors, they're like, oh, well, this is a lot of damage, so we'll just sand everything, and then instead of stripping the floors with the chemical, we'll sand the floors, and then we'll refinish them. Well, sanding the floors requires that everything comes out of the library, including the 2 very large cabinets and a filing cabinet that I was not expecting were going to have to be cleared off and cleaned out. Because that's where I piled everything to go. Like, all the boxes of everything were on top of the big cabinets because they weren't supposed to be moving. And of course they were filled with 10 years worth of stuff. So we get there and my principal was a little freaked out. Like, they told me they had to clean these out. I don't have anybody to clean them out. And I was like, we'll do it. And so, like, we're here. We got it. But I was like, what do we do with all this stuff? Because there aren't any boxes left in the building. Everybody's used them already. So Brooke wound up, we had a couple carts that were purchased for our Spirit Day. Like big giant wagons for the kids' water bottles and whatever. And someone suggested those. So I went and got them. And Brooke filled up 4 carts of stuff from like one cabinet. I think was most of the stuff. And then the other one, I don't even know what's where. So that is going to be fun when I have to go put it all back. But we did get the picture book section moved to its new home, which is so exciting. And hopefully the rest of the new bookcases will arrive in time. I haven't gone back yet to see. I've heard that they are done. But I'm like, I'm not going in until the very last week of August. The last week of August. And then I will probably just live there until everything is ready. Because it's going to be a lot more than I thought. I did say to my principals, like, well, at least it means I get to go weed out all the stuff, all my crap that was in those cupboards. And she's like, glad you've got a positive view on it. So that was kind of a big day. That night, Brooke and I went to Painting with the Twist, which is one of the paint places around here where you can, you choose the project. And we chose these cute little ghosties. We had a really fun time doing it. The cool thing was about this particular location is, and if you've ever been to one of these places, they take the models that they have and they put them up on the walls, like in the hallways and in the classrooms. So you can see other classes that have been offered. And this place kind of groups them together. So like all the sunflowers were together and all the buffalo scenes were together. And then I saw these in the hallway. Anybody recognize them? Chris the Camping Stitcher. I know you recognize them. It's Tamlin, Farah, and I think that's Farah. However you say her name. That's how I say it in my head. And Resand. And then that is Valaris, the City of Starlight. So I was like, oh my gosh, I was taking pictures and sending it to my bookie friends, which was very funny. I was like, that's pretty cool. So then, told you we were busy. My husband and I last week went alone away for a week, like a little getaway. We went to Fulkerson's Winery, which is on the Seneca Lake Wine Trail. So Seneca Lake is part of the Finger Lakes. If you're ever up in this area, you can't throw a rock without hitting a winery along Seneca Lake shore. Something about the soil, it's really good. And there's literally every time you like go 50 feet, there's another winery. So Fulkerson's, we've been there before. They've got good stuff, and they happen to have a disc golf course on their property, which is really cool. So when Phil's birthday was in May, he would rather have like experiences than get stuff. So I was looking for like, where's a disc golf course that's away, not one we normally go to, that we could do like a little getaway with. So I found this one. And so we went and did it Monday, and then we went and stayed in the 1897 Beekman House in Dundee, New York, which was absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous old Victorian house. They have done a spectacular job of refurbishing it or just keeping it beautiful. The woodwork is enough to make you just like swoon because it's gorgeous. Lovely antiques, really good breakfast in the morning. I was so full I couldn't eat the whole thing. So we had a lovely time there, and then we went back and threw discs again. I did lose one, but my sweet hubby bought me 2 new ones. So I still wound up with 1 more disc. The cool thing about this disc golf course is most courses will do a sign that if it's a good one. We went to one this weekend that didn't have signs. It's not a good one. Because when you're throwing from the pad, half the time you can't even see where the basket is that you know where you're going to throw your disc. So they have a sign at the beginning to show you the path of what to take and like landmarks. So you're throwing over the pond, you're throwing around those 3 trees or that big rock or whatever it is. The one at Fulkerson's, because they had a grant to put it in, so part of it had to be educational. On their signs, they also had information about each section of the farm as you were throwing through them. And I found it just fascinating because they were talking about the soil and even in the forest areas about like how that's important to the farm. And so it was really cool, really fun. I did get one big thing off of my to-do list. We have a closet upstairs that's like the length of the house and the eaves, and it had kind of just become a dumping ground. And so we pulled everything out, filled up the back of one car and donated a lot of stuff. I think there's still more to be donated. Threw out a bunch of stuff. Max's old trombone case that was beaten to heck, and that was one of the things. My old stitching stand actually was one of the things. My parents gave it to me. It was one of the wooden ones that was like the kind of tab, tripod on the bottom, and then it came up and arched over. Because I used to use scroll rods when I was doing those giant Paul Yvonne things back in the 80s and 90s, because those things were enormous, and it was nice to have such a big piece you could see a lot of it at once and just roll it up and down as you needed to. I wore it out because it had gotten to the point where you couldn't tighten it enough for it to stay. We changed washers, but I think just the wood had worn so much that it wouldn't stay tight, and it would just be sitting and then go poof. So the Stitchy Stand, and somebody took it during big garbage pickup day. I don't know, it was gone before the garbage came. Don't know what they're gonna do with it, but that was one of the things that went. But it felt good to clean that giant thing out. That was crazy. And then the other crazy thing that happened this week, I woke up on Tuesday like 3 a.m. could not get back to sleep. Finally got up and like gave it up around 4 and came downstairs, and I went shopping for school stuff. So I bought like everything I wanted from Schoolgirl Style, because she's like a classroom designer. Who knew that we needed to have classroom designers, but she's awesome. Everything from Teachers Pay Teachers, because they were having a sale. It was 25% off, so I was waiting for that. And then I also bought myself a couple teacher t-shirts, so that was fun. And then, there was also a giant Amazon order earlier in the week with fairy lights and all sorts of things. So that's what we've been up to. A lot of disc golfing in there along the way. I think Sunday we're going to go to the Buffalo Zoo is having Zoo Imagination, where they have all these cool displays with lanterns and it's lit up at night. So I think we're going to do that because Monday is my birthday. Oh, we also went to Letchworth. Oh, can't forget Letchworth. So Letchworth is one of the most beautiful state parks anywhere. And I've lived in a couple states, so I can say that. I think it's won like National State Park or like State Park Awards, like the most beautiful. There are 3 massive waterfalls. And if you go there in the fall, it's gorgeous. So we usually go once a year. So we went on Wednesday and walked the gorge. And then we went and disc golfed their course too, which was not good. They didn't have signs up. It was not well marked. And the gnats were really annoying. But Letchworth is great. So it's actually outside. It's about an hour outside of Victor, which is where Hobby House is. So if you're ever at Hobby House or you go to the Hobby House retreat and you drive, it is totally worth your time to either go on your way there or go on your way back and go to Letchworth. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I was thinking when I was like, oh, I should tell them about Letchworth, and it's not far from Hobby House. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, maybe we could go to Hobby House on my birthday. I'll let you know. Hopefully I can pull the birthday card. So, all right. So that's everything that I've been up to. While I was trying to, you know, do the FFO and film that other video, I did do a little video about my haul. And sure, as you do in the middle of FFOing, you realize you need more glue, you need whatever. So I ran to the store and I wanted to share all of it because I was going to use some of it, or just like some of it needed to get put away. So here is my little haul video. We interrupt this FFOing to bring you some haul. I'm sure you've all run into the situation where you're working on FFOing and then you have to start making a list of everything that you don't have that you need. Black trim, more glue, more foam core, a white square to put on the Lucky You on. You realize that somehow the stitching that was supposed to be a circle is now an oval. I don't know how I did that, but the Halloween thing is oval. And you don't have an oval hoop. So you run to the store. So first I went to Target. And so it's not cross-stitching stuff mostly, but it's really cool. So I had a 20% off coupon if you're a teacher. You get a one, like in August, I think it lasts until the end of August, but you get a one-time 20% off your entire purchase usage if you're a teacher, which is really cool. So I mentioned last video that the way that I store my fabric is in the tubes that you get at the store. So everything I have is rolled up, even though it didn't come in a roll, and I put it in the tubes. And then what I had originally purchased when I was moving into this room and decided that I was going to have red as my accent color, I found this cute little laundry basket at the dollar store. However, it is not working because I've now overgrown it. And putting square tubes in a circular thing doesn't work very well. So I was on the hunt for something kind of, you know, like as tall as like a little garbage can that would hold them in better so they're not falling, but square. Found a couple things, but then finally settled on these. Check these out. $4 for these they're from Bright Room. I already took the sticker off of this one. It actually does come with a lid. I grabbed the pink one, but I forgot the green one. So I have two now, and I'm going to go through and sort. I don't know whether I'm going to do colors in one and neutrals in the other, because I know almost everything is 28 count or some form of 28 count. So I don't know that separating out the higher counts will help. I don't know. I'll have to like lay it out and see. But that was pretty cool. So here's the green one with my other school stuff that I found. Like this little dude. Had to get it. Not naming it, but it had to get it. And they had a pencil. The pencil is actually pretty heavy. It's weighted very nicely. And an apple. I mean, who can resist an apple with a smiley face? Had to get those. I got apple scented pencils. I love to give out pencils. I got, oh, this is for Abby. I know she doesn't watch. Max can fight her over that, but this is for Abby. I got a new set of smelly colored pencils because when I teach poetry, we color code everything. Like we mark all the rhyme scheme in red and all the alliteration in green. And so I have smelly ones. Cute little notebooks that were in the teacher section for prizes. They had cute little bookmarks. I also love giving out bookmarks to the kids all the time. These I thought were really cool. These are sensory stickers. And I thought that that might be a neat prize to have for kids. They had smiley faces stickers, food stickers, and erasers that were really fun. So that was my fun at Target, which is all teacher related. So, but then I also went to Michael's. Now, yes, I was on a hunt for, I wanted to find a square white frame that I can use for the U's. because I've done a Lucky You, but I want to do, I love them. They're all so cute, but I would like one frame to put them, like to use for all of them. And they didn't really have anything square, so that will require a trip to Hobby Lobby. I even looked through like the decorations, but the decorations were all Halloween. Like I said, somehow my Halloween, the Salem Stitchery Sisters or whatever it is, it's oval. I don't know what I did, but it's definitely not a circle. So they already have Halloween stuff out. They did have these beautiful, well, I don't know if they're beautiful, they're creepy oval frames that would absolutely work, but they're still full price. And I was like, I'm not paying $22 for anything right now. I'm sure it'll still be here when it drops to $40, and then I can use my discount on top of it, because I was just like, that's just too much. They didn't have any sticky foam core, so I need to go to Hobby Lobby for that too. But I did find some of the things that I needed and some of the things that are going to be helpful. So I got these 2 picks. I think they were $1 each, because I thought those will go really nicely when I finish Welcome Home Summer. Now, I've shown a couple of these before, I think. They have been doing these trim bundles, and this is the fall one. It was on sale for $5.99. They also have the Halloween ones out. They are not on sale yet. They have a couple colorways for Halloween. One is just black and red and white. One is orange and black. One is orange and black and has like green and purple in it. But this one for fall, look at some of these. There's like a cool little fringe. There's some cool rickrack that's like just, you know, not just plain. So we've got some palms. This one looks kind of like shoestring, but it could be cool for something rustic looking. They also have it in orange. There's a sheer. So very pretty and only $5.99. So that was exciting. I did get a new blade for my Fiskars. I had to get somebody to get it for me because it was locked up. Black palms, because I don't think I had any left, and I needed something for the trim. This one might work because this part is thin enough that it won't cover up too much. That was my problem. My other things that I had, the base of the trim was too thick and would have taken away from the strawberry part. They also had this velvet trim, which I thought was kind of neat too. So, very pretty. I don't think those were on sale, but I didn't care. Got some Mod Podge because of the star that I'm going to do, and I didn't have any Aleen's, so I picked that up as well. And then, this was the fun. Now, the Halloween stuff isn't on sale yet, but the Harvest stuff was. Look at him. How could he not come home with me for my forest-themed library? Which I just dropped $140 on Amazon. Yeah. It's all reimbursable, honey. Don't worry about it. So, but I just couldn't leave him there. They had a couple very cute. They had like, I think there was one riding like, I dropped him. There was one riding a scooter. There's a whole bunch of really cute stuff. So, all right, I have to go save him. I don't know what his name is yet. One of my friends suggested Trevor, and that's cute, but Trevor's a frog's name. If you know, you know. So that was my haul. All right. So there might be a couple other little pieces of haul, more like patterns, but that was my fun haul at Target and Michael's. And I do have to go I have to go to Hobby Lobby because I need foam core. And I think I'm just going to go with the oval hoop for the witch's stitchery thing that I somehow did not make into a circle. Lindsay did say yesterday on the live that she's got a new shop coming out this year, and there were a lot of great suggestions in the chat. Somebody was like, you know, cafe, bookstore. Somebody said like a broom shop. Somebody said brewery, and I was like, ooh, because that could be beer or potions. That could be fun. So I'm curious to see what their new one is for this year. Should be fun. All right, so let's get to the FFOs. So I do have, I think I have 6 to show you. And they're not in any particular order. They're just in the pile, sit next to me. So the first one I'm going to show is Stars and Stripes. So this was, I did this one last year. Stitched it up during July last year. This is a Stitching with the Housewives. And it was on a piece of fabric, and I was using the other half of it for the Freedom Farm. So I never did anything with it last year. Now these wreaths are just on a wire frame, and I did a whole bunch of them. I had a phase a couple of years ago, and I have one for every holiday. Some holiday, like I have two for Halloween, and I hang them on the doors, and it's perfect for a roundabout. So I thought it would be fun to just hang it on there. So I just used my Creative Memories circle cutters to make a circle, used a piece of patriotic paper to cover the back again, and just looped it on some twine through the wreath form. So, and this hangs in my kitchen. And right now there's a lemonade looking one there that is white, pink, white, and yellow. So it's like a lemonade, because I do lemonade for August in my kitchen. All right, so my other patriotic one then is the Freedom Farm. And the fabric is Monaco that I hand dyed myself, chalkboard. That came out good. I've had another one, didn't come out quite as good, but that one did. And so this, I used the idea that Priscilla and Chelsea had. I'm trying to cover my eyes so I can focus. They did it on a star, and I had a wooden star from probably the Dollar Tree. And I was like, oh, I could use that. So I used that same patriotic paper. I have this whole patriotic pack that was really cool. But this one looks like one that wouldn't interfere and kind of, you know, take away from the stitching piece. So I mounted it on foam core, and then I just used, this is baker's twine from a big container from Target. I got it last year at Christmas. Don't know what I got it for, but I used it now. And then I just put a loop through the top. There was a hole there already. It had twine, but I put the baker's twine. And then for the bow, I just took 2 lengths of it and tied them into a bow together. So I thought that worked pretty well. And just enough to set it off so it didn't blend into the stars too much. So that was my second FFO. Where did I put the first one? Oh, it's over there. Then this is the strawberries, berries in the round. So I had done the other 2 last year, and then, but I don't know, my mom always taught me about having the odd rule, like having 3. And there were 3 in the pack, so, or in the set. So I finished this one up just a couple weeks ago because I wanted to have all 3 of them together. I left myself the fabric sitting out so I would have them to match. Same matching bow, little matching button. This is just like a brad that was in my scrapbooking stuff. And then the pom-pom is the black pom-pom that I picked up when I was at Michael's. And I did actually go ahead and use some cardstock to cover the backs on all 3 of them so that you couldn't see all the other stuff. So I thought that turned out great. I'm very pleased for my little strawberry set. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to have to go grab something for the July month to month so you can see how that turned out. Oh, maybe. Oh. Hold on. All right, so I ran to get the board that I use for my month to month series from Stitching with the Housewives. So I used the black and white check on all of them, and I put the washer right on the black and white check, which was a suggestion from Chelsea, because why make 12 things of black and white check if that's what you're going to use? Now I do have 2 of the months, Christmas or November, December, where I just made the backing, it was a different plaid that wouldn't have gone with the black and white. So I just made it big enough to cover the black and white, but it was still on the board, kind of just because that's the way the set goes. So here is July. Oops. Bow goes the other way. So I got the magnet at the top for the bow, got the washers on there. So there's July. And I finished that just a couple weeks ago, I think, when we were on our way back from vacation. And I found this red and black fabric in my stash, and it was like stash to the rescue, because I didn't really, I've done like the red and white, or I mean, they're not out together, but I have red and white checkered for September. But I just thought, yeah, it looks kind of ladybug, but it also looks very watermelon-y, and I thought that looked really good. And then for the rounds, I have this little stand, and the rounds are on hoops, and I don't cover the back, so I can just go like that and knock it over. There we go. So just kind of put it on the stand, and the ruffle is just the same fabric. I just cut it in a strip. I cut one strip, made the bow with it, cut another, I think it was 2 strips, sewed them together, and then just you ruche it by putting a really loose stitch in one side, and then you pull on the bottom thread until it's all ruffled the way that you want to, and then just glued it on. So I am super happy with how that one came out, because and I, you know, so I don't get to see it this year. It'll be out next year. And then here is August. So I have no idea. I know that last year I made a bow with this yellow check, or the yellow polka dot. No idea what happened to it, because I think I did this I think I finished this 2 summers ago. That might be right. And then, because I know this was out last summer on display, and I swear I had a bow. Don't know what happened to it. So I just put the, just took the sunflower and bent it so that it would lean over the top, and you still, you know, you can't see the magnet because you don't want to see the magnet. And then here's the cute little sunflower. Now I also have a little sunflower stand like this one. So for September, this actually gets to be an apple like elsewhere in my display, because the September one is apples too. So those will go back out, and then July will go away in the box. All right, then this little cutie was in my stack of stuff to do. So this is another Priscilla and then Chelsea. I can't remember the name, what it was, but Easter, I was like, really like, I gotta do a bunny. I need to do a bunny. So these were adorable. I did it on the 14 count, the same that I used for the July and the August. It's the cracked pine wood, or cracked pine board from Fabric Flair. I think it's Fabric Flair. And I love how it just, I don't know, just kind of lends a little something extra to whatever you stitch on it. And then this pink ruche. Oh, so here, this was from Dollar Tree. Thought it was adorable. I probably could have made the size a little bit smaller. I probably should have, but it's okay. Because when next Easter rolls around, I'm probably going to add, I feel like it needs just a little something else. So like some little carrot or something. Excuse me. So I'm going to add like a little carrot or something in the side there. But this pink ribbon was in one of those big ribbon packs. Like the one that I showed you in haul that was all fall stuff. This was like a baby girl one, and it was... Okay, might have to go edit those out. Yes, that's how I sneeze. But anyway, this was adorable and just small enough and dainty enough to go on this one. So I'll put the Easter one away in my drawer. I have a dresser where I keep the seasonal stitchy stuff. And then this I'll leave out because this could go for just about any of the sideways strippers, because that's just about the right size. So then the last, it was actually the first ones I did because they went into frames. So I knew they weren't going to be that hard to do. I did the Go Tell It on the Mountain and Over the Hills and Everywhere. Now, it's a good thing that I teach words and not numbers, because clearly I do not know how to figure things out mathematically. I swore I had to do it on 40 count because otherwise it wouldn't fit into the frame, because it would be just 5 inches and that wouldn't give you enough for the 5x7, because I was forgetting about the 7. So I did it on 40 count, and it wound up, I probably absolutely could have done it on 36 and it would have fit. But I like that it gives that much space in it. This little border, or the little mat here, came with the frame, and I decided to leave it in there. It was nice actually when I opened the frame up, it had a, you know how sometimes it'll have like the fake picture, it has the glass, and then it has like another piece of cardboard. This was a really thick piece of cardboard that was in here. So the amount of space inside the frame was more than usual. So it was nice because I knew I wasn't going to have to worry about shoving the stitching into there and having it fit with the fabric wrapping around the sticky board. So I love how it turned out though. Go tell it on the mountain. And over the hills and everywhere. And so now this month I'm going to work on the third one and have the whole set done for Christmas this year. But I think I was toying with leaving the glass on them because they are kind of dainty. And I probably actually could go put it back, and I still have the glass because I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll put the glass back in. What do you think? Glass or no glass? Not sure. All right, so that's it for all of the FFOing so far. I still have a couple flat fold things to do. I think I need more foam core though. And then I have a whole bunch of pillows that I've been wanting to do. So I hope to pull the sewing machine out next week. We'll see, because we're actually going to go visit Max and Abby next week, and I need to finish something up before I go see him. So we'll see. But I don't know, I could put, then I'm practically like out of summer, because then we have one more week with broken vents, and then I'm back into school and putting everything away. So hopefully, cross your fingers, I can at least lay stuff out and have everything matched up with the fabric so I can sit down and work on it on a weekend. We'll see. I hope to, because I really want to finish them up. All right, I'm going to pause for a second and move my FFOs out of the way so we can get to whips. Okay, so in the last couple of weeks, I have worked on quite a few things. For Festive, which is the third week of the month, I started the American Sampler from Crocette a Go-Go. This came out just a couple of weeks ago, and it is just gorgeous. So it's in 6 pages. And so my plan is with 13 for the 250th sale. Hi, Nancy, my fellow Nancy. I decided I'm going to split it up into each page into 2. So that gives me 12 sections, and then hopefully I can actually have it done by the semi-quincentennial next year. So I'm doing this on Mad Hatter's Tea Towel, 32 count, which I got from my stitching corner, my LNS. The Stitching Corner, which is my LNS. So this is what I had done for July, which is about on track. So it's just this corner up here. I still have to fill in a little bit of the eagle, and then I'm going to try to get down to the rest of it, because that's about where the bottom of the page is. So you can do I can get those flowers done and the flag. So so I started this during Festive Week, and I'm going to go back to it during Festive Week in August as well. So beautiful piece of linen to work on. It's been very fun so far. So I'm just going to roll it up and stick it back in the tube, because I can't have them just all piled on top of each other. It will drive me crazy. So, and I did talk about this last time. So I keep all the tubes from the store, like when you get stuff at Michael's or Joann, R.I.P. Joann, or Hobby Lobby. Well, no, I don't think Hobby Lobby has stuff in tubes, but this is like the stuff that you get, the Charles Craft, DMC, whatever, and I just keep them. So when I get a piece of linen that's folded, I will roll it and put one in here, and it really does help alleviate the wrinkles. Some of those are pretty big creases, and it really does help get them out. All right, so also for Festive, I started Welcome Home Summer, and this piece, I mean, it was a PDF, so I print them out. I can print another one, but what was it beaten up? Because this is my car stitch. So it's on black Ada because I can do Ada in the car. So this is how much I have done so far, because we've been in a car a lot. So the house outline is pretty much set. I just need to do the door a little bit. Started on doing some of the green, and it does have this very cute checkerboard grass, which is very fun. Now the only thing I switched out is I'm doing Really Tealy instead of Tropical Paradise, and I'm going to do Really Tealy to outline the word instead of gray, because that's how all of them, like the rest of them, look. And yes, you're not going to have them all hanging up together, but I have a blue check for the background piece that is the background piece for all four. So that's okay. Sorry, got discombobulated and distracted there for a second because I thought I brought the bag in that had all the floss in it too. Maybe not, because I try to put them away as I take them out. But as I said, we're going to be going to visit Max and Abby next week, so that's 6.5 hours there and 6.5 hours back in the car. So hopefully I can get a lot of that done. If not, finishing it off, we'll see. But I feel good about how much I have gotten done on it. All right, so then the fourth week of the month is Boo. And so that's Halloween or fall, because there's some really awesome fall stuff coming out. And so my thinking was I still wanted to work on other stuff. Like I was still working on Festive, still working on the red, white, and blue sampler that I'll show you in a minute. So I was like, I don't know how much Halloween I'm really going to do. And at first I thought, oh, I'll do like cut off a piece each day and do like, you know, not a skein, but like a length of floss and do that. Well, what wound up happening is because it's been so stinking hot, there have been times that we would just hang out in the evening in our air-conditioned bedroom. So I took this up and put it on my nightstand. Because it is only one color, it's very easy when you're sitting, you know, and don't have like all your stitchy nest right there. So this is Luminous Fiber Arts Enchanted Quaker. And I got a pretty sizable amount done, and I think I'm going to leave it on my nightstand and just pick it up because it is so nice to stitch on just the one color. So I'm doing this on 32 count Stormy Night, and this is with Color and Cotton's Witch's Brew. Hopefully you can see, yeah, you can see it's purple. And the variegation is very cool. I tried to do her dress kind of the way that it would flow. So I finished the house, got the witch, finished the Halloween. So I'm almost done. There's 3 pages in this one. I just have a little bit more to finish off the middle page. And I do probably have to order some more of Witch's Brew. So I looked at Color and Cotton, and they have, because I need like 2 skeins. So they happen to have also a set that is a primitive Halloween set that had some really cool colors in it. And I think I might get that too. We'll see. All right. Next. So that was what I was working on in July since I saw you. But also, now that it's August, so we switched back in this little something Sal, something old, something new, something festive, something boo. So the first week of August was old. So I had this piece that I started last year. This is from Finally a Farm Girl. This is one of the Oscar pieces. And this is Home is Coffee, which when I saw it, I was like, well, I got to do that one because it will go with my coffee themed ELA room very well. So I started him last year. And I used my own flosses. I had some orange gassed, I think they are. I think there's some gassed. Yeah, no, the Gentle Sampler Threads and the Gentle Art. I had some gold leaf. I had melon. I had burnt orange left over from, I think, another Halloween piece. Shocking. So I decided to use those. So here's Oscar. Now the problem is that again, numbers, not my forte. I really didn't leave myself enough space. So I kind of recharted. So I'm going to do Home Is in the big block letters that Chrissy did. but then I kind of did like a script to do copy in one hand and a book in the other at the bottom. And so it won't take up quite as much space. And I'm not going to do the lamp. So it will be cute when it's done. And I did get Oscar's pretty much done. I feel though like he needs some back stitching because I feel like you can't really see his arms very well. And I feel like I want him to be a little bit more defined. So let me know what you think. Oscar needs some back stitching. I will say I kind of lost the stitchy mojo on this one. Maybe because I have to like rethink it and rework it a little bit. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a coffee themed classroom for quite a while. So it doesn't have to be done for the beginning of school. I can work on it in the fall and get it done. Oh, you know, I can get it done then too. So I did work on him a little bit, but I also worked quite a bit on Erin Elizabeth's red, white, and blue sampler. This was my July choice for 13 for the 250th Sal. Where is my, I think my flag is right over here. Yes, here's my flag. So you can find this on my Flosstube, on Nancy's Flosstube. It's in the show notes for both of our, like when we do the updates. So I had written down a whole bunch of stuff I had the patterns for, and I went and got the patterns for. But this is one, I chose to do this in July because I knew that it was bigger. It was pretty big. And I wanted to give myself time to get it done. So, and this is another one that has been sitting next to the bed because there's only like 6 colors in it. So it's, again, something that I don't have to worry about, like, what am I going to do next? Because there's only so many colors to choose from. So I'm very pleased. Oops, there's a needle sticking out right there. I'm very pleased that I finished the alphabet last night. So there it is so far. I have almost the whole top done, like the top 3 pages. And so, I mean, this is in still like the 2nd page, but the house is just fill in. So I've got the whole alphabet, got a little bit here. What I'm going to try to do is go down and go across and like do the page here, because then when the house is just fill in, I may be able to do that in the car because it's already, the thing in the car is you can't see like where the holes are, right? So this, when you're filling in, I think I could do this in the car. It's 28 count for one thing, so it's not too tiny, but also you're going off of stitches you already made, so it's going to be easier to see how to do it. And the nice thing too is with this being DMC, you can do the stitching method where it's just 1 row over, 1 row back, which is very quick. And it's just been very enjoyable to work on. I'm really enjoying that. Oops. I thought I dropped something. It was my notes. Here we go. All right. So today is the 8th, but I think for August, I'm going to not go from like the 1st to the 7th and then the 8th to the 15th. I'm going to, or 16th, 15th. Yes, I can count. I'm going to do weeks of like the calendar week. So the old week is going to get a couple extra days. So I will start a new week on Monday on my birthday. So I'm going to work on this for the next couple of days still, because I really want to get another big chunk of that done. Because like I said, if I can get, so I'm just filling in on the house, I can probably take it with us in the car on our trip to New Jersey. New starts Monday. So I have a couple things. Many of you may have seen, if you are Priscilla and Chelsea fans, with Priscilla having some health issues right now, a lot of her subscribers wanting to support her, someone said, hey, let's do a Christmas sale, and I'll work on something of theirs together. So the vintage Christmas is what most people chose to do. And lo and behold, last year I dyed myself a piece of actually 2 pieces, because then they had a whole bunch of the cute sideways strippers came out pink. So I dyed myself a piece of pink Monaco with petal pink, I think it was. Yeah. And I did do a little teeny tiny, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's Santa's sleigh. I had a teeny tiny start on August 2nd. A lot of people started August 1st. I figured I'll work on this during the new week for a couple of days. Now, I don't know if people said, like, have a certain portion done by a certain time, but it's not a huge piece in comparison to, you know, like the red, white, and blue or something. But I think, you know, if I break it up into 4 or 5 sections, then I should hopefully have it done for Christmas this year. It just so happened that I did already have the floss. I think I stole some of the flosses to go use on other pieces, and so I'll have to get some of those back, but that's going to be pretty. And I thought it would be neat. I have some vintage ornaments that were my mom's, which I think were actually from grandparents, and I thought it'd be cool to put those out with those. Now, the other new thing, one other new thing I want to start during New Week is Welcome to Our Hive, because I have the Hive rules done, but I want to do them, I want to have the Hive rules and then the Welcome to Our Hive on the same big board. I can't show you the pattern for that because there isn't a picture. It was a bonus chart, but someone else did it and it looked really cute, because then it was like Welcome to Our Hive and then the Hive rules were underneath it, and I thought that was really cool, really cute. So, that is something I'm going to work on in the new week as well. And then Tiny Modernist happened to come out with something new. I think this was actually previously in a Patreon, and she just released it, and I was like, yeah, yes please. Look at it. Look, it's books with mushrooms and a little house and flowers. So cute. She did it on ice blue, I think 32 count. I forget when but I actually have that because I was using it for she had it on 28 in ice blue. I think mine's 32, so it'll even be a little bit smaller. That's what I was using for the patriotic rounds that came out this year, and I was doing them with the sparkly floss. I don't know how I got through the first one. It's kind of a pain in the butt. It looks adorable when it's done. Maybe I'll put a picture in, and I'll be good about putting pictures in this time. But I think I'm gonna, the first one I did 2/2. I think I am going to switch and do the rest of them all 1/2, because the metallic thread is so thick and it keeps catching and it's driving me nuts. But I think I do have enough to do this, and then I'll go back to the roundabouts. Super, super cute. Cannot wait to have this in my classroom or my library. It's just adorable. So, and I might even have to make one for Max's Abby because it's too cute. So that was on Tiny Modernist website. It was adorable. And then, so in the car, I will continue working on the Welcome Home Summer, maybe take some of those coffee and books little rounds that I had to, because I had some things that I wanted to do. I got them a while ago and they were super cute. Like, it's the caffeine molecule, but they're all flowers. Like, there's some cute stuff. And should I not see you by the time Festive rolls around again in the 3rd week of the month, I will just continue working on the American sampler and the red, white, and blue sampler. But my August picks are, sorry, they're back here. For August, I want to do Red, White, and True, and Patriotic Pals, which are both Chris the Camping Stitcher, and they're just adorable. I did start grabbing some of the colors. Believe it or not, I can't find a skein of 930. You would think I would, I mean, that's like standard, right? But I might actually use the 3750. That is also being used in the red, white, and blue. And I think it's also in the American sampler. And so is the 3777. So I thought maybe, you know, I can't find the 930, but if I use that other blue, which is a little bit richer, a little darker, then they'll all kind of go together. So that would be cool. So they're my plans for, yeah. And then, oh, I did buy a couple more things. So let me show you. I have them on here. Because I didn't print everything out yet. So I did get, Priscilla and Chelsea put out Claus Farmhouse, which is so stinking cute. They put that out right at the end of July. Love that one. And then, what is it? Soda Pop? I think that's, what's the name of that one? Soda Stitch. She had a sale. She has the Anne of Green Gables. Anne is my hero, one of them. She also had the pop-up cafe. And the pop-up bookstore. Too cute. I had to get them. They were on sale. So it's not my fault. So that's it for all the Stitchy stuff. And like I said, I will continue trying to work on FFOs, so hopefully I have more of those to show. This portion is the books, because I have been reading a little bit more. So if you're not a book reader, see you next time. Hopefully it will be in the next 2 weeks. Probably, if I can time it right, I can do it before I go back to the craziness of trying to get the libraries and the libraries, I'm getting used to saying that, and my classroom in order. So wish me luck on that. But and I do have a couple giveaways I still have to get into the mail. I will let you know when they ship them. I'm going to try to have that on my list of things to do this week too. So readers, and if you didn't see, Primrose is going to start like a Bobbins and Books, I think is what they were calling it, or Books and Bobbins, to do like a little book club, which is really cool. Okay, so I read a lot of mysteries, and after reading 3 of the ACOTAR books, I was like, I need a little bit of a break. I'm hoping to get the rest for my birthday. They're on my list. But I was like, I need a little break. Gonna read some mysteries. So I read this one. Bookshop Mysteries, A Bitter Pill. And it was okay. I figured out who the killer was kind of early on. It's all right. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other ones. It actually won a bunch of awards. It was enjoyable. I liked it better than this one. I read Starlight Antiques, which, great cover art, and it had a really cute little concept. Of course, someone inherits their grandmother's shop. The shop is magical. They have to find something magical to help protect the town. But it was a little repetitive about like leaving your old life behind, and I mean, it wasn't awful, but I probably won't go read the rest of them. But it was fun. If you like witchy mysteries, those are pretty good. And then I also read, I have 2 hardcovers actually here, because I read 2 things from school. So this is the Swifts Gallery of Rogues. This is the 2nd book in the Swift series, and these are spectacular. So, and my teacher friends out there, if you don't know these, go read them. Beth Lincoln is the author. The Swifts, the first one is, what's the first one? A Dictionary of Scoundrels. So in the Swift family, everybody is named with a word. So they have this like dictionary, like the family dictionary. And when a child is born, the mother goes to the dictionary, opens it up, and finds like the first word, and that is what they name the child. And usually the kid kind of lives into the name. And there's such names as Phenomena, Maelstrom. The aunt's name is like Schadenfreude, which is German. Somebody had a German out, obviously. Flora and Fauna are the twins. Somebody's name is Daisy, but you know, that's when an actual name is still a word. Like her, the main character's sister's name is Felicity, which is a great joy, but it's also like a regular name. The main character's name is Shenanigan, and you know, whether or not she's going to live into her name is kind of the question. The first book deals with the family reunion, and someone tries to kill Aunt Schadenfreude, or however you say her name. The second one is there's a painting in the house that everybody always thought was kind of ugly. Turns out it was very valuable, and it gets stolen. And so the Swifts go to Paris to go visit their French half of the family that they don't always see eye to eye with, because they think they're the ones who stole it. So really good descriptions, really well written, very fun stories. So I highly recommend the Swifts. And then the other one I read is called, and then I actually had started this one earlier in the school year, and I finished this one up. This is called The Myth Makers by John Hendricks, and it is about the remarkable fellowship of C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien. And it is a graphic novel, but it's not your typical graphic novel. It's pretty dense, and it really does go through both of their lives as children and young men until they met each other as scholars and dons at Oxford. Their incredible friendship that spawned a group of other writers to like meet together, and how their best work came when they had each other to bounce ideas off of. So really kind of cool looking at how myth was important to both of them. Talks about C.S. Lewis's awakening to Christianity, because he always felt like something was nagging at him until he finally realized what was going on, and became an incredibly devout Christian. Tolkien always was a devout Christian. So really interesting. And I have, because I'm going to read The Hobbit with my 8th graders this year, and a couple of the kids in the class I think would, not everybody, but a couple of the kids I think would really like this, because it really delves into that relationship. And they did all read, they read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe when they were in 5th grade. So that'll be kind of cool. So anybody who's a fan of both of those brilliant authors who gave us so much and influenced everything that was written that came after them, this is really cool. Highly recommend that too. So that's what I've read so far since the last time I saw you. I did ask for a whole bunch of books for my birthday, so we'll see how much I read between now and the next time I see you. Right now I'm reading, I'm going to pick up another, I brought like a whole bag of books home from school, and I'm now, of course, that it's August, I'm trying to read a whole bunch of those, so I have some stuff I can recommend to the kids. I've started 2 things on my Kindle. One is called Rebel Witch. It's the second in the Crimson Moth series. And I read the first one and I really, really liked it, but I feel like I'm having a hard time getting into the second one. And I think I need to just sit down and get like a slow start or something, and I need to get past that. And then I started reading, so hold on, that one looks like, if I can get the cover to stay, because it automatically jumps to wherever you were. So that is Rebel Witch. The first one is called Witch Hunter, and it's the Crimson Moth, and it's only a duology, which is nice. A couple other of my good friends have read them both and really liked them. I also feel like it's not one I can read when we're out on the disc golf course, like when I'm waiting for my turn, which I do quite often. That's why I was reading the mysteries. I feel like a mystery is easier to jump in and out of for that purposes, that I can pick it up and put it down pretty quickly. So I did start another one, another mystery, Espresso Shots and Murder Plots. So good old murder mystery in a bookstore. Gotta love it. So not too far in this one. That's what I'm reading right now. So, I think that's it. I think that's plenty, don't you? Yeah. So, thank you if you stuck with me for this long to see all my Stitchy stuff and the books. I do hope to see you within the next 2 weeks, before, like I said, before all the craziness of trying to get my rooms back together ensues. And hopefully I'll have a lot of good stuff to show you, a lot of good FFOs that I'd like to do, a lot of good stitching. I really want to keep up on my 13 for the 250th sale since I started, and I want to like be a good role model, right? Nancy's already got a whole bunch of stuff done, and she's writing stuff on her flag as she finishes them, which is also smart. So yeah. So I hope that you are cool wherever you are, that it's nice and cool, you're not sweating too much, that you have cool evenings on porches with beautiful breezes that you can read or stitch or have a glass of something and just relax, that you're having a good summer. I know a lot of people who I watch who are in the more southern states, you're already starting to go back to school. Hope that goes well for all your kiddos, and that then you're back to your stitchy routine on your own. So have a good couple of weeks, everybody. I'll see you soon. Thanks so much.